Hello and welcome back to the Pajarito Environmental Education Center, better known as PEAK. My name is Ashley. I'm the Gift Shop and Programs Coordinator here, and today we're going to be looking at one of our snakes. We are going to be looking at a Western Gopher snake. It's going to take a little bit of finagling to get the camera right today. But you can see right down here, this is our Western Gopher snake. His name is Severus snake, which is the perfect name for him. And a Western Gopher snake. Some people might be a little bit confused. Another common name for this guy is a bull snake. So bull snake and Western Gopher snake are the exact same kind of snake here in Los Alamos. So you can see he's back here in this corner, and he looks just a little bit irritated. He's been a little bit grouchy since the closure. I think he misses having people around. His tank is in our children's play area, so he's used to having kids up and around, moving, looking at him, showing him stuff, and so he has felt a little bit neglected since the closure. And instead of processing his feelings of being sad and overcoming, he's decided to just be grouchy. And so we're not going to be taking him out of his tank right now, but I know he is looking forward to us reopening as soon as the center is able to open again. But for now, he's here. He's okay. And I want to talk a little bit about these guys. So Severus is about a 5-year-old snake. We got him when he was 1 year old. He was caught from the wild. So he has not been raised. Well, since we have caught him, he has been raised in captivity. But before that, he was a wild snake. And he is the largest snake that we have here at the Nature Center by far. So we have 2 other snakes. We have Foxy that we've already seen. We have Rosa, who we'll hopefully be seeing in the next few weeks. But Severus here is by far the largest, and he is nowhere near full grown. Severus will eventually reach up to 4 to 6 feet. Some bull snakes have even been seen at 8 feet long. So he can have the potential to grow up to be a very, very large snake, and we'll eventually need to see about getting him a larger tank to fit him in. But for now, he's not that large. I would guess he's about 2 feet long. Maybe. I have never had him lay out nicely for me to get a great measurement. But Severus is 5 years old, as I said, so he's still quite a juvenile snake. He's still quite young. But these snakes, they breed in the spring, and their eggs are laid or hatched in the early fall. So they have bred in March and April, and so we'll start seeing some baby bull snakes in August and September. These guys are non-venomous snakes. They are not venomous, and they're actually really, really helpful. There are some amazing great snakes to have around, especially if you have any type of a rodent problem. He's being very still. I'm hoping if I give him a little bit of something to look at, he might want to move around a bit more. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe I can get the camera down a little bit closer, give us a different angle on him. Oh, beautiful. Hello, Severus. But as I was saying, so these guys are great for help if you have any kind of varmint or rodent problem. That's why they're called gopher snakes, because some of their main food is mice, voles, pocket gophers, sometimes small birds, or even rabbits. Here at the Nature Center, because Severus is still so small, he gets fed baby mice, so very, very small mice, but he eats more than any of the other snakes we have here in the center. He eats once a week, and he is a little bit sassy when he eats, and we often look at how he eats when we have the Nature Center open and people can come visit. He is often much more interested in my fingers than he is the mouse. He really lives up to his namesake in his grouchy and sassy manner. So these guys are great to have if you have any kind of rodent problem. If you see them, you should leave them alone. They are not venomous, but they can be very, very defensive of themselves. They often will try to scare you away, and that can be a little bit unsettling, to be honest. Their main way to protect themselves is to mimic rattlesnakes, and they are often mistaken for rattlesnakes. You can see by his coloration, he has that general color of a rattlesnake. He's got a general body build of a rattlesnake, and so they are often mistaken for rattlesnakes. However, they are non-venomous, and instead they use constriction to kind of attack and kill their prey. So they are very, very strong. And when we hold Severus in our hands, he will sometimes tighten his grip, and it is very, very strong, can cut off circulation very easily. And so they will use that constriction to hurt their prey. But when they are seen by a predator, they will often purely try to mimic a rattlesnake. So he will kind of coil up. He will try to flatten his head to make it look more triangular or diamond-shaped like a rattlesnake. He will even wiggle the end of his tail against dry leaves or gravel to mimic the sound of a rattlesnake rattle. This is actually really, really a strategy that really works well for him. We've had videos of him doing it here in the Nature Center. He's not quite doing that right now, but I believe we have another video up on YouTube for our Take It Outside campaign where you can see him rattling his tail, and it's really, really cool to get to see. He will also do bluff strikes. So he will coil up, kind of take on that S-shaped body movement that rattlesnakes have, and he will end up striking as well, although for the most part he will keep his mouth closed and just kind of hit you with the blunt of his nose. These guys are fairly slow-moving snakes. They're not very quick. He kind of creeps around slowly, but he is an amazing climber. These snakes are great at climbing. They will climb into trees, up canyon walls, all along rocky outcrops, and even up the sides of buildings. In the morning, you can often see them out basking in the sun. Since they are a reptile, they do need to heat up their bodies to be able to move around a lot. Mammals like you and I are warm-blooded, so we don't have to consciously heat up our bodies. Our bodies do that for us. But these snakes have to use external methods to heat up their bodies. And so often that is the sun. That's why you see so many reptiles basking on sidewalks or in the road. And it can be really dangerous for these guys. If they go and bask in the road, to them they see a great, beautiful, warm area, like a nice hot blanket. But it really can be very deadly, especially with cars driving around and when people think that they're a rattlesnake and do what they think is helpful for the community when they're actually harming these snakes and increasing the rodent population. So if you see these guys, it's best to observe them from a distance and leave them alone and let them do their thing, and they will really, really help out the local environment. I'm going to shift the camera again. But as reptiles, they also have scales, as you can see. And that means that when they grow, they have to shed off their skin to be able to get larger. And Severus sheds quite a bit because he is growing so fast since he is a juvenile. And I actually have a couple samples of his shed right here. So let me get this angle right. So here we have a shed from Severus. You can see it is quite long. And you can really, it's really cool. You can see the scales very, very well in this shed. You can see he really is just the largest snake. And when Severus sheds, it's easy to tell when he's about to shed because his eyes get kind of foggy as the scales over his eyes start to loosen their hold, so it gets kind of a milky color. And that makes it so he can't see quite as well. And while sight is not their only sense, it is one they rely on. And so he can make him very irritable when he is relatively blind and trying to be handled by us as his caretakers. So whenever they're shedding, we try not to bother them too much. When he's getting ready to shed, as well as his eyes getting milky, you'll see the scales and the coloration kind of start to dull. And that is all an indicator that he's getting ready to shed. And then eventually he will start shedding off the skin. And it almost always comes off as one long shed. Some of our snakes, especially Rosa, sometimes struggles with shedding. A couple scales will get stuck and we have to help her out, sometimes just by putting in some moist soil, but other times by using certain medication to kind of help them loosen up that stuck on. But Severus sheds a lot. He's shed probably 4 or 5 times since I've joined the Nature Center, maybe even more. And I've only been here since September, so that really gives you an idea that he is shedding quite a bit. I thought he was going to move around a little bit more for us today, but he seems very content staying in his little cove right there. I think it's because he's a tired boy. He's tired from growing and getting bigger and bigger. He wants a nice, relaxing morning. I can't blame him too much. So that's about all we had to talk about Severus today. We do have some exciting news. This will be the last Critter Chronicles that is a live recording. In the future, we're going to be pre-recording these, and that is because we are going to have a modified summer camp going on. We are so excited to have those modified summer camps. However, that means that I won't have the whole Nature Center to myself to film these at this time on Thursdays. So you can still expect the same quality of video. You can expect the same type of information at the same time every week, but from now on it's going to be a pre-recording. So if you have any questions about the animals we look at during those videos, you can comment them and we'll hopefully get to them the next time. Or if you have questions about the animals, you can submit them now and I can answer them when we get to those animals. So next week we're going to be looking at our plateau fence lizards, Flash and Picket. So if you have any questions at all over those lizards, please comment in the comment section and I'll take a look at that and we can cover all of that next week. And if anybody has questions on Severus, you can also comment on those and I'll try to cover that next week as well. If there are other animals that you want us to talk about and look over, please let us know. We're happy to cover anything that you're interested in. But that's really it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to the Pajarito Environmental Education Center YouTube channel. Oh, it's a full mouth. And also like this video so we can know and do more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much and have a great day.